Hello, this is BSJ, and this video is going to tell you when and when not to pick Slark. When it comes to picking Slark, the games you really want to focus on picking him is the games where the enemy team has very little long-distance initiation and has very little lockdown that is instant to prevent you from pacting, or lockdown that goes through your pact. So the popular heroes that you really want to avoid are heroes such as Doombringer, Doom that goes through your pact and cannot be gotten rid of. Other heroes are Spear Breaker, because he can charge you from across the map, and his charge vision shuts down your region from your passive from your ultimate. Legion Commander is another good example that we're seeing a lot now. Her duel goes through your pact as well. Some of the more popular cores that you want to avoid are Anti-Mage, because you can't kill him solo, while his mana break is very powerful against you, and also Spectre, who is hard to bring down, and also her Spectral Dagger cannot be purged from your Dark Pact. Some of the most important supports that are hard to deal with are stuff like AA, whose ability shuts you down from regenning, as well as heroes like Dazzle that remove your ability to engage onto a target and bring them down prior to the start of the fight. So generally, Slark, you want to pick him when the enemy team has easily predictable stuns, such as like Avenge, throwing your stun, or like an Ogre, or a Witch Doctor, stuff that you can easily pact, as well as heroes that are very squishy with little defense mechanisms. More popular heroes that we're seeing now are like Crystal Maiden. When it comes to core heroes, it can be much better against heroes like Lina. It can be better against heroes like Shadow Fiend, heroes that generally are weaker in the mid stages of the game that are easier to bring down. Heroes that are a little bit harder to kill, that he's not too bad against, are heroes like Ember Spirit that are popular, heroes like TA. Your solo kill potential on them is not high, but they heavily rely on poke damage or rely on burst damage, which you can avoid when they have no disables. The main focus on Slark when it comes to picking him is whether or not you can get away with his laning stage. So while there are a lot of counters to the hero that you can avoid being in the most ideal Slark game, pretty much the recipe for success for Slark when picking him is whether or not you'll be able to sufficiently make it past the laning stage. If you know, for example, that the enemy team has picked an Undying Tuskar off lane, knowing that they're going to pressure you very hard, and you have weak supports, or like a jungler, for instance, you're probably not going to farm your lane very well as Slark, because he's a very weak laner. So the prioritization when picking him should be whether or not you think you can get away with it. For instance, if you know it's going to be a solo offlane Clockwork, or it's going to be a solo offlane Earth Spirit in your pubs, or something like that, where you know you'll be able to farm the lane at least decently, should be the primary focus. He's also very good against heroes that want to farm by themselves. So pretty much try to avoid heroes that want to team fight a lot in the early to mid stages of the game, such as Undying. Stuff that really likes to group up, because that's what makes it hard for the hero to operate.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it, and if you feel like you did, you can check out my stream on twitch.tv/bananaslamjamma and check out my other guides on GameLeap.